everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for a recommending books to other booktubers video. So this is the fourth round of this particular video that I have been doing on my channel over the last year or so. It's actually been quite a while since I last did one. I intended to do this a lot earlier, but things happen, didn't quite come about, but I am doing it now, obviously. I will link my playlist in the description below so you can go and check out all the other videos that I made. But essentially, what the premise of this video is that I pick a bunch of different booktubers and recommend a book for them to read. So, like I said, this is the fourth version of this that I have done. I do try to make sure that I am recommending books to booktubers who I have somewhat of a contact with, but I do also add in one or two booktubers who might be a bit bigger and a bit more popular, just because why not? It's fun to recommend books to people, and yeah, why not? This time around I have got one person who commented on my previous video and asked that I recommend a book for them, and then I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people I have chosen to recommend a book to for today. If you would like me to recommend a book for you, then please comment below and say, hey, can you pick me next time, and I will recommend a book for you next time that I make this video, which hopefully won't be quite as long time between as this time has been. But anyway, yeah, so please comment that below if you would like to be included. So I'm going to start out with the one person that actually commented and requested that they be recommended a book, and then we'll go into the other people who I have just picked randomly out of my subscription list. So the first person is Paige from the channel PopTheButterfly. For you, Paige, I have decided to recommend the book Lore by Alexandra Bracken. I actually have it somewhere here. This is a young adult retelling of Greek mythology, sort of. So it actually takes place in modern day, somewhere in the United States, and it is about a young woman called Laura, and she is part of a family who are descendants of Perseus, who is one of the Greek heroes. There are a bunch of different families who are descended from a bunch of different heroes. Essentially, what happened is that as punishment for various crimes, Zeus decided to make this competition happen every 7 years. Gods became mortal, and they were then hunted by the descendants of the ancient bloodlines, and this is I don't know how many times it's happened, but this is one of the times that it's happened, and Laura has found herself embroiled in this big competition battle thing. I have actually read this book, believe it or not. It sounds like I haven't because the description was atrocious that I just gave, but I have read it. I actually found it really confusing, but I do think that Paige, you would enjoy this book because I've noticed you have a lot of retellings of Greek mythology, but other things like that as well, particularly young adult retellings, modern day retellings. So yeah, I just really think that you would enjoy this one. I definitely found parts of this interesting, and I think that it was a really great concept, but I just personally found it a little bit confusing. So I'm really hoping that you don't find it confusing, but that instead you find it really interesting and that you really enjoy it. So that is my first recommendation for Paige from the channel PopTheButterfly. Alright, so moving into all of the other people who did not ask, but surprise, I am recommending some books for you. The first person is Barb from barbsbookland. So I am recommending the book The Bluffs by Kyle Perry. I'm recommending this book to you, Barb, because I know that you really enjoy mysteries and thrillers. This is a mystery thriller that is set in Tasmania, where I live. It is a very twisty, turny mystery. I wouldn't say that it was super thriller thriller-esque. I'd say it was more of a mystery, but I do think that you would really enjoy it. It has a lot of twists and turns. It has quite a bit of, yeah, some thrilling elements to it, even though it's essentially a mystery. I enjoyed it. I thought that it was really well written. It does have the kind of young women go missing trope, and they go missing while on some kind of school excursion. It's all about kind of what happens from there. But yeah, I just think it's really well written. It was really, really fun. Like I said, very twisty and turny. I personally didn't see the twists and turns coming, but I'm not super as up on all of the kind of tropes of thrillers and mysteries as I think you probably are. But yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy it, and you will, even if you do see them coming, you'll still enjoy all of the things that you saw coming. But yes, so for you, Barb, I am recommending the book The Bluffs by Kyle Perry. I'm really hoping that you enjoy an Australian thriller and mystery, particularly one set in Tasmania, where I'm from, and yeah. The next person that I am recommending a book to is Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin. The book that I'm recommending to you, Gavin, is The We Free Men by Terry Pratchett. This is the first book in the Tiffany Aching series by Terry Pratchett. It is his middle grade series that is set on the Discworld. Yeah, so it's about Tiffany, who is a young girl on the Discworld, and she turns out she might be a witch, and she has to go and rescue her brother, and she is helped along the way by some pixies, who are the We Free Men, as they call themselves. It is a lot of fun. I just love Terry Pratchett as an author. I love the Discworld as a setting. I think that you would really, really enjoy the Discworld in general. I think that it has the kind of sense of humor that you would really love. I don't know whether you've read any Terry Pratchett's or not, but I'm particularly picking this one because, like I said, it is the first of his middle grade set on the Discworld, and I know that you're becoming a bit less of a middle grade reader than you have been known to be, but you are still kind of known as the king of middle grade, so I thought that you would probably really, really enjoy this one, and I wanted to recommend a middle grade to you that I don't know whether you've read, but I don't think you have, and I certainly don't remember you talking about it in particular. So yeah, I'm really hoping that you pick it up at some point and you really, really enjoy it. It is the first, like I said, in a series, so there are a bunch of other books in the series. I actually have them all just here. They are The We Free Men, which is the first one, A Hatful of Sky, Wintersmith, yes, I have not matching series, The Shepherd's Crown, and I Shall Wed Midnight. I'm recommending the entire series to you, how about that? So those are the books that I'm recommending for Gav from How to Train Your Gavin. The next person that I'm recommending a book to is Lauren from Lauren and the Books. This is another book that I have right here as well. So for you, Lauren, I'm recommending After Story by Larissa Behrendt. It's contemporary, I would say it was contemporary literary fiction, but it's very easy to read. I flew through this one and I really, really enjoyed it. One of my favorite books of the year so far. I would say that you would really enjoy it because I think that you'd find it really interesting seeing England. So it's set in the UK predominantly, but it is from an Australian Aboriginal perspective. So the two main characters in this book are a woman called Jasmine and her mother Della. You are following Jasmine and Della as they go on a tour of important literary places around the UK. Jasmine studied literature at university, so she loves Jane Austen, the Brontes, all sorts of important English literary figures, and she decides to take her mother because she wants to kind of try and reconnect with her mother. Things have been quite difficult in the family for a long time, partly due to the fact that Jasmine's older sister disappeared a number of years previously, and while they're in the UK, another little girl goes missing from Hampstead Heath, and that kind of brings back a lot of memories for both Jasmine and Della. And so it's a book that really follows relationships between mother and daughter and how grief and tragedy affect relationships and affect people throughout time. So I think you'd enjoy it because I know that you do read a lot of books that are kind of time swaps where you go from one time to another. I know that you enjoy books that do talk about the UK and talk about literature, and I think that you'd enjoy reading a book from a different perspective about literature. So yeah, that is the book that I'm going to recommend to you, Lauren. The next person that I would like to recommend a book to is Kim from the channel ExpeditionThroughPages. And for you today, Kim, I am recommending Terra Nullius by Claire G. Coleman. As you can see, I have tabbed the absolute crap out of this book. I loved this book. It blew me away. I wasn't expecting to completely fall in love with it, but I did. I thought it was absolutely amazing. I enjoyed all the books that I'm recommending, but definitely this is one of the ones that has stayed with me and that I found really, really amazing and interesting. This is also written by an Australian Aboriginal author. It is a science fiction book, but there's a lot going on, and it deals with topics around colonialism, around white Australia policy, white supremacy, different things like that. But there is a science fiction element, and when you figure out what's going on, it will really, really surprise you. It surprised all of us that read this for my last to read book club. So yeah, I think you'd really enjoy it. I know that you do enjoy books, science fiction books, and so this is a book that I just think that you would really, really enjoy. It's super quick and easy to read, and yeah, I just think you would absolutely love it and fly through it and find it very shocking and very interesting. So this is the book that I am recommending for Kim from ExpeditionThroughPages. The next person that I would like to recommend a book to is Bethany from BeautifullyBookishBethany. And for you, Bethany, I'm going to recommend the book Radiance by Grace Draven. So I'm recommending this book for you because it is a fantasy romance. There's a possibility, of course, that you've already read this one. I know you do read a lot of fantasy and you also do read a lot of romance. To be completely honest with you, I did struggle a little bit to try and find a book for you that I thought that you would not have read. I think that Bethany and I have actually relatively similar tastes, so it was a little bit of a struggle to find a book that I thought she probably hasn't read yet that she would enjoy, but I do think that you'd really like this one. It is, like I said, a fantasy romance. We follow a human woman, I cannot remember names, sorry, but we follow a human woman and then a man from a different species, and they are betrothed to each other because of political reasons, and it's about them kind of figuring out how to live together, cohabit together, and then eventually finding themselves being drawn to each other and forming a relationship. It's a really well done relationship. It is very functioning, basically, and it's just beautifully written. You can see the relationship build. It's hopeful. It's, yeah, like I said, very functioning and really a good example of what relationships ought to be. And I just think you'd really enjoy it because I know you do really enjoy romances. I know you enjoy fantasy, and I think you'd get a lot out of this one as well. So for Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany, I am recommending Radiance by Grace Draven. The next person that I'm recommending a book to is Liv from Endless Pages. So Liv, for you, I'm going to be recommending Every Breath, which is the first book in the Every series by Ellie Marnie. I'm actually going to recommend the entire series for you, but I'm particularly recommending the first one, Every Breath. I'm recommending this book for you because I think that it compares very well with the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson, which is a series that I know that you have really, really, really enjoyed. It's also a trilogy, so there's Every Breath, Every Word, and Every Move. It is a young adult Sherlock Holmes retelling. We follow Rachel Watts, who is an Australian country girl, moved to Melbourne, and she meets James Mycroft, who is a British boy who's moved to Australia because of family things. He is the Holmes of the partnership. He is incredibly intelligent, socially a little bit not great, but very, very intelligent, interested in forensics, all of that sort of thing. And yeah, young adult mystery series that I just think that you'd really, really enjoy. Like I said, because I know that you really enjoyed the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson, but I also know that you eventually really enjoyed The Gaps, which we both read in July for India Chords. So based on that, and this being written, the Every series being written by an Australian author as well, I think that, yeah, you just really enjoy reading a young adult mystery by an Australian author set in Melbourne, I think. And the final person that I'm going to recommend a book to today is Meredith from Reading with Merb. So for you, Meredith, I'm going to recommend The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. I think you'd enjoy this book because I think that you really enjoy fantasy, which is essentially what this is. I thought this was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I was a little bit surprised by how much I enjoyed it. It wasn't that I was expecting to not like it, but it was really well written. I love the way that Alex E. Harrow writes books. I love her structure and just, yeah, she's a fantastic author. So this follows January, and January is a ward of a man who runs a kind of collectors club where they go around the world collecting different antiquities and antiques and different things like that. She's a little bit of an outcast. She doesn't really know where she belongs, how she fits in, and then she starts to realize that there are doorways into other worlds. I just think it's the kind of thing that you would really enjoy. I think that you'd have a lot of fun with it. There's a little bit of a romance in it, which I think that you'd enjoy as well. And yeah, I just think it's got all the kind of elements that you enjoy. A little bit of a romance, some really nice soft fantasy, and it just made me think of you. So that is the book that I'm recommending to you, Meredith, from Reading with Merb. So those are all of the amazing booktubers and all of the books that I'm recommending to those amazing booktubers for today. Please do comment below. Like I said, if you would like me to recommend a book for you, I'm more than happy to do that. I do love making these videos and recommending books to people. So please comment below if you'd like me to do that as well. I know it's called recommending books to other booktubers, but if you like books and you'd like me to recommend a book in a video of this sort, please comment below. It doesn't matter if you have a booktube channel or not, and I will definitely recommend a book for you. And any other comments you want to leave, please do that. If you would like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me some kind of heart emoji, because I love all of these channels and I love recommending books to people. So leave me some kind of heart emoji. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you next time.